Retro. Retro.
All right, what's going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 185. What's going on, Tom? What's up, my brother? Welcome back in. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Steven. Everything's good here.
Glad to hear it, man. I'm glad to hear it. Of course, man. We always want to be trying to do well, man, and I'm glad that you're doing well, man.
Oh yeah.
Crazy time of the year right now. We have an election kind of on the horizon coming up November 5th. It's a little over a month, but it's crazy that that's almost here. So that's kind of what the topic is tonight, guys.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is something that's not really talked about a lot, and it's kind of how to remain friends with those that you're close to during this time, and kind of how to talk about the election while still kind of instilling healthy boundaries, in your friendships as well. Amongst this time, because it's something it's not really talked about, and I do feel we're very, very divided as a nation. Kind of like more so now than ever. Maybe not as maybe not so as maybe one time, but I feel like we're very divided today. Very, and I don't think that the mainstream media, really doesn't do us any favors. They kind of contribute to that. But at the end of the day, we're all our own person. So the media is there, but we can only do what the media kind of allow. Like we only are what we allow. So if we're going to consume a ton of mainstream media every single day, that's, that can contribute to the problem, but very divided. So I've seen this a lot where people have actually lost friendships over like elections, or like what their political views are, or who they're voting for, which to me is like absolutely astounding. But I understand though, like if you have to cut a friendship off because the other person has become really toxic because of that, I understand it completely. But it's just crazy to me that I don't know that some people just allow election or who they vote for to destroy a friendship or even like familial relationships. I've literally seen somebody, like, no joke, like they've gotten divorced like over like when Trump became president in 2016. Like, it's crazy to me. But everybody's different and everybody's views are different. But to me, it's like, I think if you really value your friendships, your familial relationships, your relationships with your partner, you just can't. I think, you know what I mean. That's really, really tough. It's really, really tough to see. It's really, really tough to see. But we're gonna talk about it tonight, guys, because I think that you still should be able to be friends with those people. You just have to be able to do it in a healthy way. Obviously, it takes two people, right? It takes two people. So if the other person isn't respectful towards you, it can make it very difficult. So,
I mean, yeah, I've seen that way too often. But I do, you know what? I do think that I think in my family, I have some people that disagree with me politically, and it's kind of more like friendly banter about it because it's not like going to break us, but it's like I've this like I think every election, especially because they make it like nowadays it's like life or death because you have you know two cults of personality running against each other in some sort of way, and it's like both candidates are so polarizing that it brings stress to a lot of people. I know, like, people, like, I'm watching the game with family members, and an ad comes on for one of the candidates. They walk out of the room. They can't take it. They can't stand that person. So, it's gotten to that point with some people, I think, but it can be stressful because it's like everywhere. Like, all the ads you see, like, you're watching the game, it's like political ad, and, it can be overwhelming.
very, very overwhelming. I was gonna say the same thing. It's ads, not only ads. I don't know about you, but I'm getting text messages constantly, like
Yeah,
spam text messages.
yeah,
Like,
I just block them now because it's like,
yeah, that's what I do. I hit block and report as junk. Like, that's what I do. Like, I hit them report as junk, but I still get a ton of them. I literally just got a political call. The other day I got one for Kamala Harris, and then today I got one for Trump. So it's like, and what they do is they act like that person is on the line. Like,
it's like those. Yeah, they've been doing that. I remember, like, years ago when Mitt Romney was running, my dad got it said his name and everything, and it freaked us out. This was like way before anyone knew about AI and deep fakes and all that.
Yeah, that would be pretty spooky.
Like, laughing about it, So
pretty spooky, man. Like, it's some crazy stuff out here. Mitt Romney. Yeah, Mitt Romney was kind of a scary guy. I don't know. That's just,
he's retiring soon, so
yeah, completely different time, man. It's like the technology wasn't as far ahead as it is now, but now it's like, with technology being as far ahead as it is in 2024, now we get the spam from all angles. We get it from the phone. We see it from the television. We see it from, we're on a computer, and like, I literally had a Wall Street Journal up earlier, and boom, there's an ad that pops up for the campaign, like in like the middle. I'm like, man, it's like it's hard to escape it, especially through media. Even if you're gonna watch like a video on YouTube, or even if you have ads on like your streaming services, if you have ads on Hulu or Prime Video or anything, political ads, like, very overwhelming. Like you said, like it can be very overwhelming for sure.
For some people, it's like, when does it end? But I mean, ads, like, if an ad comes on TV, I'll just walk around, get something to drink, or like check on something, like.
I'm not usually watching. I'm not usually watching ads or commercials, so it's like, try to kind of avoid them where I can. But yeah, and me and Tom were actually talking about this, guys, before we actually went live here. But I feel like this election is one of those elections that majority of people, I don't know the exact, I don't have an exact percentage by any means, but just from the feel of like people that I know and like things I've seen, I think this is one of those elections that not everybody, but the majority of people have their mind already made up. They already know who they're voting for. So we see debates, we see rallies, but a lot of people already have their minds made up. They know who they're voting for, and it just feels like one of those elections. It's just like, and I heard somebody saying, because a lot of people consume media, a lot of the mainstream media. At that point, you already know who you're voting for, and you're still consuming like the things on these networks. It's like you're just kind of doing it for drama, no matter where you like watch. If you're gonna watch, like, I'm not talking local news, but if you're gonna watch like CNN or like Fox News, both of them are like pitted against each other. So it's like there's bias on both ends. If you listen to Fox, they're going to be biased against the Democratic Party. If you're going to listen to CNN, it's going to be a lot of bias towards the Republican Party. And it's just kind of how it is. And I don't think the media does any favors. I think it literally, a lot of it exists to divide. And I think it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I think as a nation, once we were very united, and now we're kind of starting to become very divided again. It's been going on for.
Yeah, there was always like some level of division, some level of conflict, but I mean, I don't think we're as divided as we were during the Civil War or like before then with the slavery issue and all that. I think that was very divisive but obviously the right side won, but but yeah, I mean there was, and then you go through the history. I mean I think before Teddy Roosevelt got in there, I mean there was the rich and the poor. I mean there was always conflict, but we got through it. That's how I kind of look at it. There's always a new conflict. Like the 60s and 70s, everybody was fighting in the streets and brawling, and crime was worse then than it is actually now. But yeah, I mean, I'm carrying the show, I guess. Okay. But yeah, I mean, there's always strife, there's always conflict, but you eventually get through it. There's always something new, and once we get past all this conflict right now, there's going to be something new. Something new is going to come up, and and it's just best to take a good stock of your surroundings, go outside and kind of say hi to your neighbor, and then realize, oh, maybe this isn't as crazy as everything's being made out to be on media, on TV, on the radio, so just buying time for until Steven gets back. So yeah, I mean, again, as much as you say the country's divided right now, we had a freaking civil war almost 200 years ago, so hopefully we don't get to that point. So we're waiting for Steven to get back. I'm going to text him, what should I talk about? So this is all right. When are you coming back, dude? I don't know what to say. How about the Phillies? They clinched the number 2 bye, at least. If they sweep the Nationals, they might get the number 1 bye. Home field advantage, hopefully. I can't even see the comments, so I can't even interact with people. But all right. Anything crazy happened today? Oh, I can't even read the comments. I go in the chat. Oh, his power went out.
Hey, Tom. What's going
Oh, okay. Your power's back?
Yeah, dude, there's people working outside on the power lines or something. Listen, I would just ask my brother, was like, what the hell just happened? Yeah, no. So there were people out there earlier, and I don't know, it reset my router. So like I had to wait like a solid
Oh,
like
okay.
3 to 4 minutes, like it reset my route because I was talking,
I
then you
I think I
froze.
was still live. So I was taught. I finished my point,
You're
and
still
then
live,
I
yes.
waited, and I was like, "All right, so guys, how about the Phillies?" Oh wait, I can't even see the comments.
Uh,
I was like,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, as I was saying, like, it's good to, as divided as we think we are, it's good stock to actually like go out, take stock of what your surroundings are, go outside, say hi to a few people, and really kind of get a good gauge of like what's actually happening instead of
yeah,
the media telling you stay inside, everyth's dangerous, and buy the products in our commercials. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. It's
So
a lot of fear mongering. You know what I mean? They try
yeah.
to instill fear in you. And I was just saying this the other day, like at the actually I was just talking to actually, yes, it was yesterday. Um at the end of the day, like you control your own destiny. So like don't let your
Uh-huh.
gut like your government, yeah, like, and we said this too with the presidential candidates. The presidential candidates, yes, they have an outcome in the world, the economy, different things.
Hmm.
There's absolutely things at play when a candidate gets elected. However, you do create your own destiny in this world.
Yeah,
So
I do.
policy,
I do remember like Trump, like especially like in his first year, was just making a lot of laws too, like the tariffs and stuff. Like he just kind of made that an executive order. Like I know, presidents don't usually do that, but you know, yeah, I did see a lot of that with Trump. But other than that, like he can't just go and overrule like what. I mean, he could veto what Congress says, but then the Senate could vote to overrule
yeah,
that ruling. So
there's a lot of checks and balances inside the
yeah.
country. So it's not the end of the world when somebody, but I'll be like, it depends on what your viewpoint is and what your reasoning behind voting for. Because if the other person gets in and they're a completely different view of like how you want things to look, then yeah, it can be. You know what I mean? There's definitely effect. I don't want to say that there's no effect. There is. There
Hmm.
absolutely is. But it's not the end all be all. The
Yeah.
world's not going to end tomorrow.
I
And all,
I do think like way I look at the presidency is way different than a lot of people do. I think of it more as like who would you rather send to like talk to like these other world powers, like in Europe and stuff, and who would best represent us to talk to like the UK Prime Minister or the President of Ireland or Emmanuel Macron or Zelensky, and depends on how you look at it.
yeah. Yeah.
And my view is like we are, like it or not. I mean, we have a lot of problems at home. We could address better instead of going out and being Team America World Police. But I really do feel like there is like kind of a need for that, unfortunately, because there are some other world leaders out there who aren't on the same page as us. So they're going to try to get what they want, and someone has to be there and say, "Wait a minute, like slow your roll here." So, and
Yeah.
we just have to be vigilant of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, when it comes to the election, guys, that's what you're saying about like the division in the country and stuff like that. I think that there's ways you can go about having healthy conversations
Hmm.
with people and still being able to be friends at the end of this. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of people when they go into conversations, they go in trying to prove. They go in
Hmm.
trying to prove something. And I think that's really the wrong way to approach it. I think when you go in, you should go in with an open mind, and it works both ways. If the other person is doing the same thing, like they're coming in with a prove it mentality, it's just going to be two people who are going to butt heads, and it's just really going to escalate. I think that people need to be a little bit more open minded, more mindful, and even at the end of the day, like you might not agree with the other person, and that's okay. You're not trying to go in and trying to prove your point or make somebody believe your thing, but like you can still hear them. I think that's important. People need to be heard, so you should try to listen and try to hear their point. And I think, when somebody's really passionate about something, I think that's actually really cool because it means like they actually care about something. So it's like, hey, that seems like it's really, really important to you. And at the end of the day, like even if you're like, I see why like you agree with that point, but and even if I tend to lean this way on that subject, but at the end of the day, like you don't have to agree with each other, but you can still respectfully have an adult conversation. It's crazy. I see grown adults acting like children. Like
Yeah.
they go in with a judgment mentality. Like you see this all the time. Like they go in like you're an idiot. You're a moron because you fucking like this candidate or you like that candidate and you're a fucking idiot. It's like, well, what type of conversation are we realistically having here? Like you go in with that type of mentality. It's like, of course you're gonna burn bridges and friendships and any type of relationships you have because you're closed-minded, you're judgmental, and a lot of times we internalize a lot of things, and it manifests in kind of like a hateful way.
No doubt.
So it's
doubt. Yeah.
There's no constructive conversation if you come in. You're like, are you voting for Trump or you're fucking moron? Are you voting for Kamala? Are you fucking stupid? Like, what? Like, there's no type of constructive conversation that comes from that.
Yeah, and it's like, why does the candidate you support you have to agree with everything? Like, let's say for example, let's say if I did support Kamala, I don't agree with absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Some of her viewpoints I don't agree with, but
yep.
Sometimes if you're undecided, you could just make a list of their policies and see what you agree with.
Yeah.
And then, kind of like, because I probably would be more of an undecided than most, but
yeah,
so
exactly. And it's like,
but
if
I'm just a factual person, so I just go into everything I go into everything like any sort of, because I think that those type of dialogue are very opinionated to begin with. So I just approach it like, okay, like you support that candidate, okay,
yeah,
and then I'll just let them talk,
100%.
Like, because I just, it's above my pay grade anyway. But
yeah, and I respect that though. At least you go in and you have like reasons why, and you really put the pros and cons, and like you kind of go in like analytically. So you're going in, you're making a list of the things you agree with, what you don't agree with, and that's a smart way to vote. It's because you're standing behind certain principles that you agree with, and if that person aligns more with your values or what you see is important, then that makes sense. It could go the other way. Say somebody's voting for Trump and it's like, oh, but they don't agree with everything. He does like and that's the thing. I think we're one of the best things is to be able to think freely. So like, don't just listen to like what people are telling you on television. Like this candidate is absolutely great. Everything they say is great. Everything they do, like think freely because really. Yeah.
There's a couple of news channels I know people that watch those, and it's all like about, oh, this person's so great, they can't do no wrong, let's bow to them. And I'm just like, if you say so. I mean,
nobody's perfect, nobody's above God. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, they're not God, they're not the ruler of everything. You know what I mean? Like what they say isn't gospel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. It's just like, I just think it really is a shame though. Like a lot of grown adults, they really, like, I see it all the time, like whether it's on social media or I literally see it in person, like acting like children, like, because like I really think the media has a big thing to do with it. A lot of people let this, for lack of better terms, like brainwash them. I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter what side you are. It could be Fox News with the right, or it could be CNN with the left. And it's really, really a shame. Free thinking has kind of gone out the window for a lot of people. Not for everybody, absolutely not for everybody, but for a lot of people. And it's just something that's not talked about a lot. It's like, it's a shame, you throw away a good family relationship, or, crazy to know that I knew somebody got divorced over election results. And then, and throwing away solid friendships that you might have had 10, 20 years, or you know what I mean, over election results is just insane to me. There's more important things in life.
Well, what I would probably suggest is like if that person starts talking about politics, you either try to change the subject. There was something that happened, like I was at someone's house and like, all right, what they played it. I was like, oh, you got Alexa, play a song or play an artist that you like, and they liked an artist that I liked, and then we just started talking about that, even though we were kind of opposed politically. So like,
Yeah.
that's a good way to like kind of ease the tension on that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's like somebody I know, one guy, Joe, I know, I actually went to high school with him. He's very, very successful in the real estate industry. But he said in business, he's like, you know, I don't understand people. He actually has a book out, an audio book. And in the book he actually said, he's like, I don't understand the people who like in business are like, I'm not gonna like this isn't just personal relationships. It's like, but it's like he said it even in business. People won't do like business with people because of like what side they lean. He's like, I don't understand that. He's like, if you don't like, he's like, if you don't agree with who they voted for, don't talk about politics. He's like,
Yeah,
he said he has a mentor. Yeah, he has a mentor that like leans a different way politically. And he's like, we don't talk politics. Like, just don't talk about it. Just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's more things in life than like political views and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly. It's not good for business.
No.
Politics is not. It's not good for business. You know.
No, exactly. And it's and then in friendships and stuff, it's like I understand it's hard, I guess, if someone's radical like a certain way. It can be difficult if that's all they talk about is politics. It can become it can become, you know, really tough. But like you said, there's ways to, I think, go about it. Well, you can at least try on your end as like as the other side of being on the friendship side, like to try to steer the conversation a different way. It's like, hey, you know, like let's play a song, you know, different. Let's play music. If you like, let's like kind of steer the conversation.
Yeah, like try to just change the subject because it's like it's not really gonna, because people, as you said, are already pretty much decided. So it's like, what's the point? Like, you're not gonna evangelize. I mean, I think like before, I think a couple times before I was able to evangelize my parents a little bit, just like subtly, because they're like on some of the local races. So like, you know, but other than that, like, it's not going to end well. Like,
right. And I always try to, even if there are people that are radical and they tell me like for who I voted for, I'm a fucking moron or something like that, or I'm a fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still always try to see the good in people. It doesn't make me a sucker, it doesn't make me weak, doesn't make anything like that. But how I see it is like, all right, like if that's how you're gonna kind of approach the conversation, I'll either try to turn the conversation. If you're gonna continuously just continue to talk politics, like try to change my view, trying to change this, then I'm going to kind of have to distance myself a little bit from you. It's like it's also important to set boundaries too. Like I do understand that. I don't think you should be friends or be around someone that is not respecting your boundaries. Always understand that, because I think it's important to set boundaries too. You don't just have to sit there and take it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I always try to still see the good in people, because even if you're coming at me like that, like you're saying I'm a fucking moron, fucking idiot. So like, what's causing that? There's probably a lot of anger inside your life. There's a lot of insecurity in yourself that you're coming at me, talking to me like that, or community. But also, I'm not going to tolerate that. Like, you're not going to come to me and you're not going to speak to me like that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, but you're not going to sit here, because I'm not calling you a fucking idiot. I'm not calling you a moron. So you're not going to come to me and talk to me like that. But like, so also remember, boundaries are very important too. You can try to do what you can and you can do to the best of your ability, but some people, for whatever reason, are going to talk and speak sometimes or think how they think. And, you know, doesn't make them a bad person. You know, they might just be very misguided, but you can only do so much.
Yeah. And if they're not receptive to the fact that you don't want to talk about it, just move on. Like, if that's their whole identity and they won't stop talking about it and they You might as well. I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Is like that one person just won't leave the subject alone and just makes it their whole identity. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why you have to have a strong communication and boundaries with that person. You need to let them know that, hey, look, I'm not interested in speaking about this. I'm not interested in
yeah,
talking about this. Let's do this. And if they continue with that, that means at that point they're really not respecting your boundaries. And
yeah,
then you kind of have a decision you have to make. Like even if you do have to drop the friendship, you can still wish them peace. Like, like, hey, I don't wish any hate towards you,
it's one thing if it's like your best friend and you share
Yeah.
like you both like the same political candidate. You
Mhm.
can talk about it. That's fine because that's a
Yeah.
positive interaction. But it's like different when it's and it's kind of like a lot of parallels with religion too, because it's like you know, it doesn't I've had friends of all religions and it never came up. Doesn't bother me none. Um, but some people get fanatical about it and they don't want to talk to you if you follow a religion a certain way or you're part of a group.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like we like the same things. Let's talk about the things that we like, not so
Yeah, exactly. That it's just it's and I don't think friendships are like you don't like kind of make a list, but you really could. You could be
yeah,
like, hey, what we like, what we have more in common, and what we actually enjoy
exactly.
outweighs the negative. The things that are not even a negative, the views where we have different views, like what we actually agree on,
Yeah.
and what like how our views are and what we like, it outweighs that. So like, let's just not really talk about that. Or it's like if we can come to a part where we can talk about it in a constructive way, cool, but everybody's different of how they communicate.
Mhm.
So or how they feel about
Yeah.
something. So some things can be triggering to other people. Um, it really depends. But I would say, majority of times, if you guys don't agree politically, you don't have to talk politically. There's no
Yeah.
there's no reason why you have to. It's
And it's
okay.
like we live and grew up in like Northeast Philadelphia. I grew up like
Yeah.
suburbs, but we all live in Northeast Philadelphia. Like there's so
Yeah.
much diversity, and it's like how many friends do we have that live around here that are completely different, like politically, uh,
Ethnically.
lifestyle wise,
Yeah.
and it's
Lifestyle
not a big
wise.
deal. Like it's not a deal breaker for us. So
Yeah, a lot. We have a lot of friends that have come from like other countries, which is
yeah,
it's amazing to really understand and learn the culture of other people, like where they've come from. I think that's great. If you can have a diverse like friend group.
yeah,
It's a lot of times it just happens. Like for
yeah,
me, it's not, and this is how it absolutely should be. This should be non-negotiable. But like when you have friends and different things, you should pick on like obviously you're gonna want things in common, but it's like, do you respect me? If you show me respect, I'll show you respect. It ain't about the color of your skin. It ain't about
yeah,
anything external. It's about, do you treat me with respect? If you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. It's like, and that comes from communication too.
yeah.
Having a conversation, you're calling somebody a fucking moron. All right, well now you're not being respectful. You're being disrespectful. And it's like,
Yeah,
it's like I like. Here's the thing. Like, you were saying like about like like positive interaction and conversations. I think that good friends are going to butt heads from time to time, and I think that's healthy.
yeah.
That's normal. Not everything
I'm
you're
just
going to
saying,
agree
like,
on, but
if you know
there's
you're
ways
on,
to go about it.
yeah, if you know you're on the same page, like you see, like, let's say you have a friend that
Yeah,
did post something like pro candidate, and you agree with it, you could
yeah,
start a conversation off that. It's like, yeah, well, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, how much it? I hate to say it like this because it's kind of a cliche, but diversity is kind of our strength in a way, like you know,
yeah, yeah.
because
I
that's
agree with
America.
that.
It's like,
That's what our country is. It's
yeah,
very diversified. I'm
yeah,
actually trying to see if there's any Facebook comments here. Yeah, Facebook. So I don't know if I told you this since the last time you were on, but Facebook with Meta, you can't pull comments from the portal here. You can put YouTube ones up. There's no YouTube comments yet, but I
oh,
do
okay,
see that. I do look at the Facebook one too, because it's playing in the Facebook groups right now, like it's live streaming to Facebook. But any comments, I just have to kind of read them out loud. Can't throw them up on the screen. So don't think there's any comments. Yeah, we definitely have viewers in here though. I can see. we've had over 15 in total between, or actually over 16 between Facebook and YouTube. So, and I can see right now we have some YouTube viewers in here. So, thank you guys for joining. Yeah, guys, comment down below. Like, you don't have to comment who you're voting for, or anything like that, or your political views. But if you have any things to add or anything to the conversation, feel free to comment it. If it's on YouTube, I'll throw it on the screen. If it's on Facebook, I'll read it out loud. I just monitor that. So thank you for joining in. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on too, because we release episodes every single week related to either personal development or sports. We got a lot of them good episodes coming up too, especially sports in Philadelphia, man. We got Phillies, Red October, baby. Coming up, man. First round bye too. So, we won't be playing until the NLDS. So, we got that first round bye locked last night with the Brewers losing and us winning.
Yeah.
So, some Red October.
Yeah. It's another October where someone I saw a post as someone described it as like a bender. Like Red October is like a bender. Yeah. And it's like almost every year at this point.
Yeah.
And it was we went so long without that. Like I remember when we were like in high school, like it was every year. And then we went without for like 10 years.
Yeah, a decade, man. A decade and no Red October. And now this is 3 years in a row where we're here. So it's going to be interesting. Now the only thing we're trying to finish out the season, getting ahead of the Dodgers to get that number one spot, because it'd be beautiful if we can end with the best record in baseball. Entire MLB has to come through Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah.
So, entire playoffs. So
yeah, I think the bullpen's way better this year too.
Hell yeah. Last year we had
no Kimbrel.
No Kimbrel. Yeah, I was gonna say that, man. No
Estevez has gotten better too. So
yeah, so is Kirkering, man.
No, it's like Hoffman and what's his name? Hoffman and Strom are like lights out. And and then I think Ruiz is and Estevez are kind of right there. I think Ruiz is like a little bit better than Estevez. That's my hot take. And then Kirkering like is hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
But
I'll be
like
honest.
those five guys are like they're on their best night, they're unbeatable.
Yeah. No, they look good, man. They look good. And even Alvarado's starting to find his form back.
Yeah, Alvarado like came back and he's good as new. He just hasn't pitched.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting.
Those six guys.
Sanchez is pitching good, man. Nola, Wheeler. The only one that worries me a little is Ranger, because he hasn't really come fully back to. I'm gonna be honest. If Ranger finds his form, dude, it's a wrap. Like
I think usually October he comes out. Like it's like the colder weather. He pitches well. He pitches like Cy Young level. When it gets hot out, he can't really last more than 5 innings. Yeah, there's something with him on that. Like every time it's like June or July, he's just non-existent. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
one of the good things about sports, kind of tying it actually into this, is how a lot of things with politics kind of divides. Sports kind of brings people together, right? It's one of the beauties about sports, man.
And in my family, like my dad's side, all Philly sports 4 for 4, and then my mom's side, they have family from New York, and there's some Mets-Jets fans there. And one of my cousin had his wedding day that Phillies clinched the World Series a couple of years ago, so that was like a happy memory for us. But he was miserable the whole wedding, except for like when he was with his wife and stuff. But like he was miserable because my dad wore his Phillies jersey to the wedding. And then like it was so funny. And then like we're watching the game at the bar and we're all celebrating, and then they're like, well, the bride was a Phillies fan too, so she was happy.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, you can't really plan a postseason schedule around a wedding. Like I know when the schedules come out during the regular season for like football and stuff, people are like, "Why would you have a wedding on a Sunday?"
You remember that year the Mets were like really good that year? He probably thought, "Oh, the Mets are going to be in the World Series," and then it's like, "No, the Phillies are." Like,
And yeah, that was when Buck Showalter was coaching them. Yeah, no, they
oh,
choke artists.
they're
Man.
doing well though. They're doing well. They've gotten hot recently, so
Yeah, I
hopefully
think
the Phillies don't, trip up to them or anything. Hopefully they don't play. But
yeah, be interesting to see who we play. We have to play who we play.
yeah,
I don't think the Braves are getting in. I think the Mets are going to get in. I don't think the Braves are getting in.
I haven't looked. I thought they were in there, but
I think the Mets are ahead of them.
snuck
So
in.
yeah.
Maybe they.
You got the Padres, the Brewers, the Mets, Dodgers, us. Who else is even in there? Diamondbacks, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it might be the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks might have got in over the Braves.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Diamondbacks are
thinking.
hot.
Yeah.
I think we can.
I think we can go toe to toe with anybody in the NL. Personally, I think that the AL could give us a little trouble. We'll see, but
I think the only opponent I'm not afraid of is the Dodgers because the Phillies only lost like once to the Dodgers all year.
Yeah, how many times did we play them?
6. We were 5-1, and then we dominated. I think the aggregate score, I forget. There were some games where we just I think one game was like 15-2.
Yeah, we swept in the one series. We went 2-1 in the other. You're right.
Yeah.
One
game we just beat them up by the third inning. I remember that.
Yeah. I think the Phillies are going to stay on business this year, man. I don't think they're
going
to take anything. They took things for last year.
I think they're good. I'm not confident in saying this. I think they're going to win it all, and I think they're going to beat the Yankees finally. They played 3 times in the World Series and lost all 3 times. So
yeah, I hate to say it, man. I'm hoping the Yankees don't make it, man. Like they're the only team. I don't know why, man. It would worry me a little bit, man. But I just, it's not even that they worry me. It's more so like I wouldn't be able to stand if we played the Yankees and we freaking lose to them again, man. I'd be so mad.
I don't think they have anyone they don't have anyone outside of Judge and Soto to me like that. Like they're like
their pitching isn't great. Their pitching ain't great. So
carried them. Judge and Soto carried them. They don't really have a bullpen. Their pitching's okay.
Right.
Garrett Cole is probably he's like the AL's version of Zach Wheeler, but other than that,
yeah. Oh my buddy, Zach.
They're all Judge and Soto, and then Soto last time. Soto doesn't hit well against the Phillies.
No, he doesn't. Yo, Zach, what's going on, brother? What's going on? What's up from the West Coast?
There we go.
Yeah, man. So we got people in. So we were talking on political, but we kind of transitioned a little bit to sports here, man. We were just saying that sports definitely brings people together. A lot of things with political, they kind of divide a lot.
Especially when you're local, but Cowboys fans always ruin it because they're Cowboys fans are a lot like Trump supporters. They really are.
Yeah.
Same with 49ers fans. 49ers fans are worse almost than the Cowboys fans. But Cowboys fans they still think they could be 4-12 and be like, we them boys. It's so
yeah, the Cowboys fans are just every year, it's heartbreak. It's just always coming. So yeah, we were just talking about effective ways to communicate in conversation and stuff. I think because it's really a shame, people just. We were saying for anybody who's tuning in, it's really a shame how people really let friendships or familial, connections, family, it's just I've literally seen somebody get divorced over political
but it
connect
I
who they voted for.
I don't mean to sidetrack you, but it is okay to disown a family member if they convert to being a Cowboys fan, though. I agree with that. If I had a son and they said, "Dad, I like the Cowboys," I'm packing their bags.
You're out. I don't care. I don't care. You're out of my house.
I went wrong. So hey, here's a ticket to Dallas. Find your way, man. I can't do it. Any other team, but the Cowboys, I'm no. I can't do it.
Yeah, no. It's yeah. Zach said the same thing here.
Yeah. I think I
Yeah,
matched. It's funny. I matched with a girl on like Facebook dating, and then she said she was a Cowboys fan. I blocked her. That runs deep for me. That runs deep for me. I can't. I don't know what it is. I'm just that much of an Eagles fan.
Yeah, no, I know. I have a couple friends who like their husband, wife, like the wife's a Cowboys fan, and the guy's an Eagles fan, or it's vice versa. The girl is a Eagles fan, and the husband is he's a Cowboys fan. My barber, it's funny, he is a Cowboys fan, and his fiance and the mother of his children, she's a Eagles fan.
Okay.
And she's a diehard, and he's a diehard Cowboys fan. So it's like they have their little rivalry and stuff. I don't know. It makes it kind of fun. You have your trash talk and stuff.
Yeah.
It depends.
Because it's more friendly.
Like everybody's views are different. For me, it wouldn't be like a deal break. I don't know. Like it's it could be some friendly comp. As long as like for me, like it depends. Like for people, it's I don't know. If they just like can't take like ball busting and criticism, it's like okay, it's like or just like joking around and shit. It's like then that's gonna be kind of hard. You know what I mean? You have to. At the end of the day, it's a sport. It's entertainment. It's not. It's just entertainment. It's not that serious.
I know. Like I'm kind of. I'm really kidding when I say. Like,
yeah. No, it's funny as hell though. Like, oh, you're out of my house. Like Cowboys fans, no pack your bags up, bro. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go, bro.
Oh man, I really don't like because it's just a reputation that precedes their fan base for me. Like it's just like the way the way they just like any sort of criticism, they just like
they talk. They know how to talk a lot, but then when they lose,
they talk crap even when they're way worse than us.
Yeah, they go into a hole for a week. You don't see them for another 7 days after they lose.
And then, like, just especially the way Skip Bayless acts after they lose, it's just like they're drama queens too. It's like,
yeah,
it's my turn. Let me talk. It's my turn, Shannon. Like, oh god,
that one you could feel the emotion, but yeah, I hate when
he was going on for like 30 minutes about he was going through play by play every sign that he knew they were going to lose or something.
Yeah,
that's so ridiculous.
His Twitter things are like ridiculous. It's so staged. He just goes
his takes are like way out
where he takes the jersey and he just throws it in the where he throws it in the.
Dak's going to throw for 5,000 yards. Mark my words. And then after he throws like one interception, trade Dak.
Yeah, Candace commented and she said, so true. She said, so sad. I think like the division in the world and everything like that. She commented on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Zach commented in too. Again, he said, it's funny because if they lose, they hide until they win. And then they come out saying it's their year. That's always how it is. It's like the Homer Simpson meme where they come out of the bushes like when they start winning again. And Zach's actually a Broncos fan. He's a Broncos fan. Zach's actually from he's from Cali, so it doesn't matter if you're an Eagles fan or not. Everybody in the NFL if you're as long as you're not a Cowboys fan, they all unitedly just hate the Cowboys because we all know what the Cowboys are. We all know
they're starting to hate the Eagles too. No, the Chiefs are like more hated. The Chiefs are the most hated because everybody. I mean, there is evidence of it, but everybody thinks the games are rigged for them.
They're becoming they're becoming the new Patriots. That's what it is. They're getting every call, and it's special treatment. You know what I mean? That's
got a good team. They got a talented little team there. You know.
Yeah. No, they do. And here's the thing:
their defense is really good. That's why they. I mean, Mahomes. My hot take is I don't think Mahomes is as good as he was when he first came out, but he's still he can win you some games. He's a quarterback that wins games. He's in the top tier.
Yeah,
but he's not going to throw for 5,000 yards anymore.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
And they win. They win games by 3 points. Like ever since last year, they just win games by like 3 points, 7 points. They don't dominate teams, but they find ways to win.
Exactly. Speaking of the Cowboys, guys, Cowboys are actually playing tonight against the Giants. Thursday night football. Let's go Giants. I don't like the Giants either.
Are they playing Tommy DeVito? If they start Tommy DeVito, I will like root for the Giants like I do the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll root for the Giants over the Cowboys.
Oh man, I probably would too. Like,
yeah,
No,
I agree.
But like when Tommy DeVito came around, I was like, oh, I kind of like this story. Like I kind of want, but he's not like that good. But it's a fun little story, The whole
thing. No, 100%.
But
how he kind of came in the league is like it's crazy, but yeah, man. Just for anybody else who's tuning in, just to go back to like kind of like the election stuff. It's like I just think you just have to have respectful communication with people. And I was saying I think boundaries is very important too. Like you were saying, Tom, like there's what I mean. Boundaries are very important, and I think that like that's the thing. You can't just be like. You can try to like kind of salvage a friendship or family, but if the other person isn't meeting you like halfway, like they're not respecting your boundaries, then it might be time to kind of move on from that. And that's the thing. Just don't tolerate disrespect. If you're being respectful, you expect respect on the other end. So it's really a shame. But anybody I've had, unfortunately, some people, they like we've kind of parted ways in life, but it's like I still wish them nothing but respect. I mean, nothing but peace. I don't wish them any type of ill will. It's just, if you're not respectful towards me, you know what I mean. I won't tolerate that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's all about that.
Zach said, Chris Collinsworth glazes Mahomes like he's a donut.
Now here's a guy who he just made a funny comment.
Chris Collinsworth with his like little laughs. He goes, "Oh!" Like he just like gives like he sounds like he's like literally fucking orgasm. He's like,
wow,
look at like he hears like Mahomes. Oh, I can't believe he did that. Like,
you know what? I think Tom Brady is like my favorite analyst now, because because I'm getting tired of the Romo stuff. Like Romo's starting to be like Collinsworth now, and then obviously you have Collinsworth and Greg Olsen is a deal breaker. Greg Olsen is an instant mute for me. So by default, I think Tom Brady.
I actually never minded Buck and Aikman. It's like to be honest.
I think I would still take Aikman over Brady, but Brady, I think I really what was the late when he called the last Cowboys game? I thought he was really good, and it's funny he was talking about the 28-3 game, and then the Cowboys started coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what a jinx here. But yeah, I thought like the way he was talking, like he's very, he's neutral. Like he doesn't favor one team over the other. Some of these guys favor one team over the other.
Yeah.
Much. And like if a guy does really good, he doesn't like over. Oh well, look at how great! Like he's just like, this is what he did. And that's all I want. Like he's like kind of like John Madden in that way.
Yeah, when Collinsworth came to Philly, for the Falcons game when the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year for that playoff game.
Oh yeah.
I was like literally like 10, 15 feet from Collinsworth and Mike Tirico. So like they're sitting right there in the booth, and every Eagles fan is going, fuck you, Collinsworth. What time's Dallas playing?
He probably was like, I barely remember. I do remember the end of that game.
Yeah,
but he was probably like, "Where's the pass interference on Julio Jones?"
Yeah, it was up before the game started. So like they had like a little thing up in the they had their like little setup, and they're like sitting there next to the stands, and they got the camera set up, and somebody's doing his makeup. People are like, "Yo, you fucking dork!" Like, "Yeah, fuck you, Collinsworth." Like, "Fuck you, Collinsworth." What time does Dallas play this week? Blah blah blah. Like, just going off like on them. And then like Mike Tirico's there, and they're like, "We love you, Mike." People are like trying to get pictures and stuff. He's like,
yeah. Like Mike
Tirico.
He does. He does. What is he? He's not on ESPN anymore. What does he do? Or no, he's not on. He's not even on NBC anymore.
Mike Tirico's still with Collinsworth, isn't he?
Oh yeah, maybe he is. I
Yeah, on
just haven't
NBC.
watched
Yeah, on
it.
NBC. Now they're still there. Yeah, no. Al. What's his name is gone.
Al Michaels is
Al
doing
Michaels.
Amazon now.
Yeah, yeah. Al Michaels is not
Yeah.
on NBC anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Al Michaels is probably calling the game tonight. Or I don't know if it's Amazon. It's what is it on Peacock now or Amazon? I don't know.
It might be Peacock.
Peacock now, so they're
Well,
there.
Amazon was doing it for a while. You could
Yeah.
probably watch it on NFL Network.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or if you have like game day, you can watch you can watch them on any. I don't know. They have all different streams, and you gotta have Mario come over and hook your TV up, dude. I literally have like NFL game day.
I don't need to have every single NFL game. I mean,
It's nice.
lately
It's nice
there's
to just
only
switch
been
them
like
on.
2 decent games a week outside the Eagles. So
That's true. I switched that Niners game on last week when the Cowboys were like getting blown out, and then the Cowboys started coming back. I'm like, oh shit.
I watched that one. That was a good game.
Yeah, the Niners lost at the end. Well, I was rooting for the Rams, but
yeah, I was surprised the Rams came back. I thought I wrote them off. Like
they got blown out by the Cardinals a week before. I'm like, what the hell?
But they don't have Nakua right now, so I did pick them as like my kind of dark horse, but they have their offensive line still needs work.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Bengals.
They start slow every year.
They do though. They do. I don't. It's just weird. So freaking weird. Every single year, even the year they went to the Super Bowl, they started slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, sports. So if you don't watch sports, I'm telling you, sports.
It's better talking about that than politics. Like why?
Yeah,
I'd rather talk.
Yeah, sports brings people together. You can have different viewpoints.
Yeah,
sports kind of just like I never seen anything like it. Like when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, people who don't even know each other are just dapping each other up, hugging each other. Like it's just crazy. Like just it just unites people.
and when we get into Red October, I mean 2022, like everybody's wearing the Phillies gear and everybody's to each other, like their family and stuff.
Yep.
That's always good. That's why I like, when the teams do good because it's like positive. Because like if you remember like 2014, 2015, there was like nothing going on. It was all dour. Like
it's motivating.
Eagles sucked. Phillies really, really sucked.
Yeah, it's motivating.
Flyers and Sixers sucked. So.
Yeah, you can't rely on motivation in life, but I'll tell you this: like it is motivating when you see the city, when you feel good when like the city's doing like well sports wise.
Yeah.
Like that year, the Eagles, the Phillies, and the Union were like all in like October. Like it was like a whole thing, and the Eagles were undefeated, and the Union were like so close. It's like obviously everything ended in no championship, but it was a great time.
I don't think there was a single murder in Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure I can take that to the bank. I remember like watching the news. It was all talking about the Phillies. They didn't talk about like a shooting. None of that.
Yeah,
that didn't happen. Everybody was watching the game.
I doubt there. Unfortunately, in Philadelphia probably was no murder, but I bet you the murder and like that type of stuff was down a lot.
Oh, because that year was really bad, and then it just stopped in October.
Yeah, it was a big. I don't know. Things are going. Unfortunately, you can't win forever, but it's good when the city's winning. You know what I mean? Sports wise.
So. Things are looking up.
So yeah, guys, you want to keep your sanity. Watch some sports during this time.
Yeah. Ironically enough.
Develop. Yeah, exactly. And and like with conversations, always go in. That's why I always say with an open mind and try to hear and listen to people. Even if you don't agree and you lean a different way, that's okay. Just but you just have constructive conversation. Don't go in with you're a fucking moron, you're a fucking idiot, you're voting for this person, you're voting for Trump, fuck you, you're voting for Kamala, then fuck you. Like that's not constructive. It's not. There's nothing good that comes from that. Like, what do you like? You go in with a prove it mentality, trying to prove yourself mentality versus like an actual hearing somebody mentality. And, I wish people the best that, are going through a tough time, because it's like, if that's how you're thinking, I just feel like you probably have a lot of anger inside your life or a lot of insecurity on your own end.
Or just nothing going on in general.
Yeah. So it's just everything. So I just, I kind of feel bad for those type of people, but I wish them the best. But it's just like, at the end of the day, you're also not expected to tolerate disrespect. So if somebody doesn't respect your boundaries, you have to just kind of go the other way. It's really unfortunate, but
when you basically exhale negativity, that's all you're going to get back.
Yeah, exactly. What you get,
or
exactly.
no
What
one's
you
gonna
get.
want to talk to you. Everybody's gonna stay away from you.
Yep. What you give, you shall receive. It's just
Uh-huh.
it's how it is, and you know what I mean. It's I don't want negative people around me. I just don't want that type of energy. So it's like if you're coming in with that type of mentality, it's like, hey, look, stay away from me. It's I wish you peace, but stay away from me at this point in my life. I just can't be
Yeah,
really around those type of people.
exactly.
It's just yeah, it's unfortunate, and that's what we were saying. We'll wrap up shortly. We just hit the hour mark, but I think a lot of people there's people that do go off of like, okay, this person, like they see what they agree with, what their values and principles are, and that's who they decide to vote for. But there's also a lot of other people, if you ask them, besides like one thing, like why are you voting for this person? A lot of times it's more so like I feel like they more so see somewhat of them, like not somewhat of themselves, but they kind of just, I had the word, but I kind of like, well, they kind of just familiarize themselves with that person, or like, oh, like I can like, or assimilate like to that person. They're like, oh, I'm just voting for them because of how they talk or how they speak or this, that, and third. It's like they don't have like concrete reasons. Sometimes they'll say they're voting for them because they don't like the other person. They don't have like concrete reasons why they're voting for somebody. I mean, hey, everybody is entitled to vote for who they want to, but before you go in like judge and try to have like an actual like, I would say kind of vote smartly. Kind of like, just because of how someone talks or how someone says something, it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? It's just, I feel like people celebritize people.
Yeah. I think like nowadays it's like they don't want to piss anyone off, so they give like vague solutions and like to get elected.
I
But
agree.
like you really gotta look at it. Like, for example, like say there's a candidate that wants to impose tariff or strong tariffs, but if you know about history, you realize like, well, what always follows tariffs, a recession or
It's true.
inflation, or not inflation, but like higher prices because things are more scarce,
Yep.
things are more expensive. So you always got to think about, if you know history, you can kind of see patterns in things and you can make your decisions that way.
Absolutely.
Or, how sort of how Russia was trying to move. Like, oh, what are they going to stop at Ukraine if they get Ukraine? Probably not. They're probably going to try to get Poland next, so that sort of thing. Or
Yep. Exactly.
yeah. So whatever, if history does repeat itself. So you got to realize that sometimes.
Yeah, it's actually the same thing. He said history repeats itself, always repeats itself. Yep, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It absolutely does. I was checking the Facebook comments to see if anybody commented in as well. We just had a couple tonight, but yeah, man, it definitely does. History always has a weird way of repeating itself.
Mm-hmm. There's cycles. It goes up and it goes down.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't know like when things are on the up until like things are truly good. It's like I would imagine like when the economy was starting to improve, like in the late 30s after the Great Depression, like people that were still kind of struggling. They didn't realize that things were improving, but slowly and surely by not after World War II, people were like, oh wow, like things are cheap and I'm making more money, so I could spend money, I could buy a house and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was probably unthinkable like 20 years before that because everybody was in poverty. Everybody was waiting for soup,
Yeah, literally. It became a nice change.
People lived in tents 20 years before. Millions. So,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, I think that's kind of the ways you go about this election here. It could be really overwhelming.
Yeah.
We were talking, no matter at the beginning for some of you who came in later. It can be an overwhelming time. You see all the political spam. It can be from anywhere from ads on your TV to your computer, you're watching YouTube, or even on your phone, getting text messages, phone calls, from like robotic messages and stuff, and it can be very overwhelming. So definitely take care of yourself during this time. Keep yourself occupied. Don't make your whole identity with the election or anything like that. Get out, go to the gym, go to the gym, put yourself into your work. Try to level up in your career. Spend time with your loved ones, your partner, friends, family. Take your dog for a walk if you have a dog, whatever. Like, you find ways to get out, find ways to do things, find ways to keep yourself occupied, keep your mind busy, because it's like, at the end of the day, the world is going to go on no matter who gets elected. So it's, keep yourself occupied, guys. I mean, at this podcast, it's always what we preach. You want to build healthy habits, because it's, sitting there making your entire identity election is not the way to do it. You know what I mean? There's just it's not what you want.
Yeah, have some fun. Go to the park. I love going to the gym. Going to the gym is awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
I probably look silly in the gym because I'm lifting lighter weights. But
hey, man, you're there.
I like it. But you gotta get. I'm more it's more reps and less weight. It's the same thing, really.
Hey, man, you're in the gym, and that's the step, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even do that. So it's, you know what I mean? You're taking an active step to, better your life. And I think that's great, man.
I just like doing it. I just like that.
It's good. A lot of times people don't think about the gym. It's not always just physical. It's good for your mental health, man.
Yeah.
You go there and you actually feel really good when you're done, man. You feel great.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things. So hopefully get a workout in with you sometime, man.
Yeah. I just do a little bit of cardio. I only spend an hour each morning.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's a good habit, dude. It's really all you need.
I knew I was deficient. My arms were skinny. So I'm doing bis and tris. I work out my chest too.
Nice.
Shoulders. I'm doing some free weights. I'm doing a little bit here and there. I'm not going crazy in there. I don't have 7 hours a day to be in the gym. So
no, man. An hour's fine, man. You can get a good workout in an hour. My longest strength training sessions are an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45. But that's because I'm training multiple body parts. If it's a singular body part, man, I'm there 45 minutes to maybe 60 minutes to an hour. It's nothing crazy. It's you can only train so much.
Even on leg day, I'll do a little bit of cardio, and I'll do I do a little bit of everything. But I only do leg day on weekends because I don't want to go into work falling over.
Yeah, leg day is the worst day, man. It's the toughest to recover from. But now cardio is important too, man. It's good to have a mix.
Yeah, well, you got it. You got to have you got to get your heart beat up.
Yeah, it's true. Cardio is good for the heart.
You got to get your heart beat up because then you could parlay that when your heart beats at 120 or 130 a minute, you can parlay that to your strength training and burn fat that way. So
exactly.
Apparently, that's what I read, but
yeah, no, you burn more. Yeah, it's a whole
system. Heart rate up. That's how you burn it.
Yep.
Because I was mostly body fat. I had no muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you're doing well, bro. I see some good improvement.
The thing was, I knew, I was a skinny fat because my BMI was was pretty normal, but I had no muscle. I still felt I was lighter, but I was just all fat.
Yeah. It's that's the thing. It's a muscle. Everybody's body composition is different. So you could weigh 175 pounds, but if it's all fat versus having no muscle on, you know what I mean? It's your body comp. I think that's the most important. It's not always the number on the scale. It's the body composition and how you feel, and ultimately how are you feeling? Because someone could lose 7 pounds and their body composition can look completely different. You know what I mean? Just off those
People
7 pounds alone.
Are trying to lose weight. It's you're going to gain weight because you're gaining muscle.
Yeah, we're actually going to have a good episode on my buddy Frank, not Frank Sharella, but Frank Veneziali. He came on here last year. He's a fitness coach.
Yeah,
he's going to come on in October, and
by the way, guys, I'm not as qualified as that guy.
No.
I'm just someone who goes every morning. I was at the machine one morning because I was oh, that machine, with the I guess it's the lat pull down machine, but you could do different things on it. I'm oh, it's finally open. It's never open. So I was just trying different things, and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel something. Like,
Hey, man. I mean, hey, as long as you're using good format, that's all that really matters, man. You just want to make sure you're good. But yeah, man. Like, well, he's gonna come on. I'm like, it might be a good episode to maybe tune into. He talks workouts, but he also preaches a lot about nutrition. He's big on nutrition.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be coming on in October. He's so busy. With everything with the business and work and he's just a second kid. We're probably gonna have to do it on a weekend, to carve out an hour because it's during the week. It's like a no go.
Yeah.
But
it's good that he's got a lot of business on it though.
Yeah. He's doing a lot. So might be a good episode to tune into. It'd be some point in October over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But yo, Tom, I just want to thank you, man. Thanks for coming on tonight, man. Good conversation, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That hour flew by.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have you on for because I'm trying to get a group one, maybe for a Phillies episode. It's going to be it's not going to be next week. It's going to be in like 2 weeks. It's going to be on Thursday. I think we're shooting for October 10th is when we have the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 weeks from today. And I think that makes more sense timeline wise because I think postseason starts October 1st. Phillies already have a bye, so they're not going to be playing.
Yeah, they're going to be off for a week. So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So timeline wise, it makes more sense. But yeah, man, dude, it was a good episode, man. I appreciate you coming in tonight, my brother.
It was good. It was good talking to you, man. It was good to kind of like, because my approach, on the whole subject is like, it's not a big, it is a big deal, but it's not like,
it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. Like that, you know what I mean? So just take it easy.
Yeah, we'll get through it.
Yeah,
it's you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a, I hate to say it, but I think Drake said it. God has a plan, like
God's
plan.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is, man.
So
yeah, appreciate you coming on, my brother, and to everybody else out there to watch. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. We'll be back next week, episode 186, and hope to see you guys soon. So, signing off for tonight, but have a great night, great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care, Tom. Have a good night, boss.
Take care, Steven.
See ya.